Welcome back to Outside the Studio, visiting Port Orleans French Quarter Resort at Disney World. Recorded on Leap Day, February 29th, 2024. I'm going to give a little walking tour of the resort, visiting various parts. Beginning our tour outside, this is the main arrival area. If you're coming in a taxi, on a bus, see a lot of people here, probably leaving, some people arriving. This is the main building where you can find registration. You see right there to your right. They call it the Mint. Here in this main building, you'll also find the food court. You'll find the gift shop and an arcade. So we just walk through the doors, and the first thing you see is this nice fountain. See the coins inside. Sometimes they leave them out there on the concrete, and you can toss them in. Those green, gold, and purple coins. Registration's right there. I don't really get close to it, but you can kind of see how it looks. Give a little look up at the roof. Gonna make a quick walk into the food court area. Right here to the left is called Scat Cat Lounge. At the time, the only place in Disney World where you could get beignets. Now I believe they're available at Magic Kingdom. This is the main food court. You see some seating. To the left is the food stations. There are about 5 of them, and each have different types of food. You can get a hamburger, chicken fingers, and there's also specialty, more Louisiana type food. And over on this side right there, Jackson Square, that is the main gift shop. Take a peek inside, don't walk through it. And then if you just keep going down this hallway, registration is to your right. Here you can find the arcade for the resort. We'll do a quick walkthrough. It's pretty empty right now, so I didn't feel too nervous filming. And now coming outside, area across the way from the main entrance to the Mint. Got this little courtyard, food hall here behind those doors. You got the gift shop to the right. Gonna walk towards the pool area, which was closed at the time of my visit, so I didn't get to swim. And I don't swim anyway, so it didn't bother me. Got various games out here for guests. There's also many activities as we look at this board. See some of the stuff going on in the hotel. And today's activities. There's a dance party going on right now. You can hear the music. Campfire. They show movies under the stars. I'll show you where they do that. Got some games here. There's giant checkers here if you want to play checkers. At Port Orleans Riverside, you can rent bikes and ride them around both resorts. This is the walkway towards the pool, and you got these alligators celebrating Mardi Gras, apparently. They seem to be having a good time. And this is the pool, closed during my visit. Try to give you a look. More alligators. You also have a dragon water slide. The pool bar was also closed. Should be right here to the left. There was a temporary pool bar. There you see some seats. You can sit down and relax. Up ahead is building number 5. French Quarter consists of 7 buildings and total of 1,008 rooms. Themed towards the French Quarter area of New Orleans. And quick peek at the laundromat, 24 hours. So if you want to wash your clothes on your vacation, you can do it after you get back from the parks. Straight ahead, that is still the food court. We'll be walking through it a little later, so sit tight. There is the sign. So at the end of this building, towards the river, you saw the temporary pool bar. That is building number 4 you're looking at. And then there's plenty of little pathways. They all have names. You can see them up on the lamppost. Each building is 3 stories tall. That right there is Cakewalk, and we were on Rue de Baga. Rue de Baga pretty much cuts through the whole resort. Almost like the main street of the resort. This right here, this grassy area, garden, is where they show the movies at night. And if you see way in the back, there's the fire pit where they have the campfires. To the right is building number 6. If you can see ahead, it was gardening day this day, so didn't pick the best time to take a walking tour. Sorry for the leaf blower noise. I'm going to try to get around them as much as possible. Building number 6 was the building I stayed at. I'll kind of point out my room a little later on. Anyways, I'm getting real close to that guy with the leaf blower. Let me take a quick turn. Show you one of the gardens. One of the room types is garden view, and if you have a garden view room, you'll be looking at one of these. There's, I think, one for every building. This one featuring very nice frog fountain. All right, let's take a cut through building number 6 and head towards the river. One of the main features of this resort is access to the Sassagoula River. Right here you can see room numbers. The way you tell your room number at the French Quarter, the first number is your building number, second number is your floor number, and the last two are your room number. You can see some room numbers here walking by. So let's just see this one, 6144, so building 6, first floor, room number 44. And over there to the right is the Sassagoula River, your access way to Disney Springs. And I'll show you how to get to Disney Springs from the river a little later on. Guy with the leaf blower again. He wasn't following me or nothing, it's just couldn't get away from him. There's the street name. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. And there is the Sassagoula River. We're going to head down to Port Orleans Riverside in a little while, but right now through the magic of video, let's go a couple days into the future. And at night, this sadly is my last night at the resort when I'm filming this. I'll explain those boats in a little while. This is almost 11 o'clock at night. I've just gotten back from Magic Kingdom. Decided to grab the camera and go look at the south side of the resort. Right here is you can get on these boats and go either to Port Orleans Riverside or Disney Springs. They close at about 10:30, so you saw the rope. You can't get on the boat right now, but don't worry, we'll be taking a boat ride down the river in a few minutes. But come over here first. We'll show you some of these buildings. Buildings 1, 2, and 3. Get a look at the river at night. You can see the boat way out there. I believe it's heading towards Port Orleans Riverside. Make my way through this walkway. Believe between buildings 1 and 2. See a few more of the gardens. I'll apologize. I don't know how it looks on YouTube. Looking at it right now in editing, it's really bouncy. I'm still trying to figure out how to record at night, so bear with me if it looks kind of fuzzy. It's a very peaceful resort. Now, I didn't go during peak season. I don't know how it is, let's say in the summer. But I mean, if you wanted to hang outside, take a seat on one of the benches and by one of the fountains, and you'll see some right now. You know, you're free to do so. Very relaxing. Here is another garden and another fountain and some benches around. So you can just chill out here. building number 1 to the left. And I believe this is building number 2. Here you can see the parking lot. There are numerous parking lots on the outskirts of the resort. So if you're in building 1, 2, or 3, you're going to park here. But I mean, there are more parking lots closer to the other side of the resort. So if you're in building number 7, this is building number 3. If you're in building 7, 6, don't worry, there are closer parking lots if you drive your own car or rent a car. You don't have to walk across the whole hotel. Going to walk through building number 3. The buildings are almost the same layout, maybe a little difference between them, but they all have this section. They all have elevators. You'll find them here, and near the elevators on a turn right here, you'll find the ice machine and the vending machine, so you can buy your overpriced soda. Was it like $5 a bottle? No, thank you. But here you get a look at your typical building, well lit, feel safe. You're in the Disney bubble. I mean, you know, don't let your whole guard down. But as you can see at night, the resort's well lit up. Feels very safe. You want to, like I said, hang out at one of the gardens, one of the fountains, make a phone call back home. You know, feel free. It feels very safe. There's building number 2. I believe this is Rutabaga again. And that building to the right is the Mint. Straight ahead, that is the arcade. Pardon my fingers. I'm trying to adjust my camera. My phone. The arcade, the gift shop called Jackson Square, and the food court closed down at 11 p.m. So it is just before 11. They're get ready to close down. I think that guy was standing guard, make sure nobody gets in the gift shop. Here is that courtyard again, where all the music was playing earlier on. Now at night. And I'm going to head through the Mint and go out to the main arrival area. Show you how it looks at night. I don't like this door opening by itself, kind of spooky. If you know about Disney World, they have their own bus service. So if you're staying at the French Quarter, straight ahead you can see a bus. You'll walk out here and you can go, there are 2 bus stops. 11 o'clock at night, apparently people getting on the bus. I believe on this night, Magic Kingdom closed at 11. So there is still bus service. I don't know where the people are going, other than maybe another resort. And there's the spooky door. fountain. Also here to the left will be Scat Cat Lounge, which they have live music on the weekend, I believe Thursday through Sunday. There's Scat Cat Cafe. Now let's take a walk through Floatworks and Food Factory. Well, first let's look at Scat Cat Club Cafe. It's a quick peek at the menu, but that's where you order your beignets. So the food court here, like I said, there's about 5 areas, different stuff, hamburger, chicken strips, but also Cajun food. I had shrimp and grits on one of my nights here. Here are some of the special menu items. And this is the dining area. So there's 2. Got this side. You got your Coke freestyle machines, coffee, tea, hot water. Here are your condiments. And this is the other side of the dining hall. More tables. And right here is the TV with the cartoons for the kids. And some kids' tables right here. And 4 more freestyle Coke machines here. Get yourself a refillable mug. It's good for about 11 days. You can just keep coming back to these machines and filling up your cup. Kind of already did this walk during the day, but now you can see this area at night. Here is another garden, this one between buildings 5 and 6. And like I said earlier, on this lawn is where they show the movies at night. Plenty of wildlife to be found on the resort. Here's a little, if you kind of make it out, a little bunny eating some grass now that all the people are back in their rooms asleep. Try to get another zoom in on him. Kind of blurry. He's keeping his eye on me. And like I said earlier, this is the fire pit. So there are bonfires here in the early evening, and you can make some s'mores. And once again, making our way to the Sassagoula River. This right here is called the Carriage Path. At Port Orleans Riverside, you can actually buy a horse-drawn carriage ride. Starts at Riverside and comes through French Quarter and then back to Riverside. And all right, back to February 29th. And let's head over to Port Orleans Riverside. This is the path you would take to Port Orleans. You can see some signs here on the river. Let me show you what they say. Yeah, you are in Florida, so be careful. I was here 8 days and I did not see any alligators or snakes. Plenty of rabbits and squirrels. Saw some birds like cardinals that I don't usually see in Los Angeles, but no alligators or snakes. Taking a look back at building number 7. Yeah. Another look at the river. The walk to Port Orleans Riverside takes about 8 minutes, 8 to 10. Right along the river. Underneath this bridge, which is an access road, so as you saw the car drive by. And there you see the sign telling you you're heading to Port Orleans Riverside. And from this bridge, you can get the first glimpses of Port Orleans Riverside. Those white buildings you saw in the back, way in the background. That is Port Orleans Riverside. There are two areas to Port Orleans Riverside. One is called Magnolia Bend, and the other is Alligator Bayou. Those buildings up ahead are part of Magnolia Bend, and they are themed to plantation mansions. I did not visit Alligator Bayou. Those buildings over there are themed to rustic wood buildings, which you would find deep in the bayou. The building on the right is called Partel Place. These buildings right here have princess themed rooms. There you see one of the boats that go up and down the Sassagoula River. These boats will be heading out to Disney Springs. They will make a stop at French Quarter at the dock you saw earlier. This bridge right here is just a walking path. We access the Magnolia Bend section of Port Orleans Riverside from the registration area. Port Orleans Riverside actually covers both sides of the Sassagoula River. Port Orleans Riverside is the second largest resort in Disney World behind Caribbean Beach. And now arriving at the main registration area of Port Orleans Riverside. Here to the left is their arcade, very similar to the one at French Quarter. Straight ahead with the red tiles, that is the registration area. Dining at Port Orleans Riverside was in those buildings towards the left. That blue building right there. Port Orleans has a full service restaurant. French Quarter does not. Here you can see there's actually activity for the kids here too. Right there you saw on the right were the Surrey bikes that you can rent. Either 2-person or 4-person bikes. There are also regular bikes that you can rent and ride around both resorts. You can ride from Riverside to French Quarter. This boat that you saw right there at Riverside, you can actually book fishing expeditions on the Sassagoula River. It is stocked with bass and you can go bass fishing. It is catch and release, so you don't get to take your fish home. But here is the dock at Riverside for the Sassagoula River Cruise, and now I'm on the boat. That right there is the registration building, and then to the right of that building, like I said, is their food court and restaurant. And as the boat pulls off the dock, we're gonna head down to Disney Springs, making a stop at French Quarter. And I'll show you how the process works getting to Disney Springs. There is the boat. they're coming back from a fishing trip. And here we go, up the Tascoota River, and you'll get a good view of the path I walked down here. There are the buildings of Magnolia Bend. Coming through under this bridge, you can get the first glimpse of French Quarter from the river. That is building number 7, the furthest north building. And that there is building number 6. And if any of you are wondering where my room was, right there, 3rd floor. You actually can't see my doors angled away from the river. But these are views of the river from my room. Building number 5 there to the right, as you see what kind of waves these boats create. There you can see the pool area, the Dragon water slide peeking up over the concrete walkway. And we're coming up on the French Quarter dock. This boat here on the dock, I believe, is coming from Disney Springs, heading towards Riverside. One of the disadvantages of staying at French Quarter, as you saw earlier, there are a lot of people on the dock. And the boats coming from Riverside already have people on them, so there aren't that many seats. So if you're trying to get a boat to Disney Springs from French Quarter, you might wait a while. Supposedly there were some rumors there are actually boats that come directly from Disney Springs to French Quarter and go back, but I did not see any. And as you can see, I assume a lot of these people wanted to go to Disney Springs and they gotta wait for another boat. So if you have the time and the energy, it might be to your advantage to walk down to Port Orleans Riverside and get on the boat there if you want to go to Disney Springs. Or maybe just wait. It could be the same amount of time. That's building number 2. And that's going to be pretty much it. It's going to be a straight boat ride to Disney Springs. There are no more stops for this boat. There are 2 more resorts up the river. There's Old Key West and Saratoga Springs, and they have their own boat service from their resorts to Disney Springs. Alright, coming under this bridge on our way to Disney Springs. Here to the right of the boat you see a lot of wilderness. Disney World property, half of it is undeveloped, which is impressive when you remember that Disney World is about the size of the city of San Francisco. On this side of the river, you get the first glimpses of the treehouse villas at Saratoga Springs. There are about 60 of these villas, which are 3-bedroom, almost apartments, but they're hotel rooms, so you rent them out. So if you have a large party, a large family, you might want to look into them. They are very impressive when you take the cruise at night. You see them all lit up from the inside. And more wilderness. These boats really kick up some waves. And there is the dock for the Treehouse Villas. From there you can take a boat to Disney Springs. These boats from the villas will not go to the Port Orleans resorts. If you were staying at Old Key West Resort, your boat will be heading down that river. There is your first sight of Saratoga Springs Resort. first sights of Disney Springs. To the right here is the west side section. There are 4 sections in Disney Springs. This white tent you see right here is home to Drawn to Life, the Cirque du Soleil show at Disney Springs. And that car is supposed to be there, so don't worry. That is the Amphi car. From Disney Springs, you can book a ride up to 4 people. This body of water is called Lake Buena Vista. You take a little tour. That is a hot air balloon. That blue balloon, you can book a ride on it, pay for it, and go up to 400 feet up in the air over Disney Springs. If you saw the gray dome behind it, that is Planet Hollywood. That is further back in a section called Town Center. This right here where the balloon is, that is the landing. Building right there is the Boathouse Restaurant, and then you can see right to the right of it is where the lake Amphi car.
Thank you for riding the festival. Diesel Company, have a great evening.
That steamship you see there is not an actual real steamship. That is the Paddlefish Restaurant. There's Rainforest Cafe. It's much more impressive at night, but it's a volcano, so you see fire coming out of it. Also in the marketplace area is Rooms of Disney, where you can get all your Disney souvenirs. The marketplace is also the area where the boat docks. All the boats to all the resorts dock here. The Port Orleans boats, also the Old Key West and Saratoga Springs boats will all dock here. This is also what you will get on for your return trip. As for me, it's almost 4 o'clock and I have a 4:30 lightning lane at Epcot Center for Guardians of the Galaxy. So off to Epcot I go. All right, arriving at Epcot Center. These are the ticket booths. And there is Spaceship Earth. So first thing first, I gotta get inside the park.
you.
All right, that was easy. Spaceship Earth. I'll do a little small walkthrough, but first, I'll take a little small detour and wait for the monorail to pass by. Kind of a windy day today. Earlier that morning it had been very cloudy and drizzling with a bit of a light sprinkle. Got very lucky on my trip. Didn't experience any rain until it was time to fly out of the airport and got my flight delayed. But all my time at the parks were almost perfect weather. To the right is the pin shop if you want to buy pins. And right here is Spaceship Earth, my second favorite ride at Epcot, only behind Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which is where I'm heading. That is Connections Cafe, your place at Epcot to get your Starbucks and other food. I'm sure I never went in. Right there is the Creation Shop. That is the main shop at Epcot. And some signs telling me where to go. Look at the Creation Shop, and right there is Club Pool, home of the famous Beverly Challenge. My honest opinions on Beverly: not the most pleasant thing to drink, but not the gross thing everybody on the internet made it out to be. As we cross over here, test track right there, the blue building, and looking straight ahead, that is Mission Space. Test track soon will be closing down for a second time to be rethemed. Honestly, I think the whole virtual car thing, that didn't look very good. I have my own little conspiracy theories of why they closed it down and rethemed it the first time. But I'll save that for another day. And coming up into focus is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. That right there is the Star Blaster ship of the Nova Corps. The building is kind of plain, but believe me, what's inside is very amazing. If you ever get the chance to go to Epcot, make sure you get on that ride anyway. Wake up early for your virtual queue, or just pay the money for your individual lightning lane, or do both, because it's worth it. And let's head to nighttime. Almost closing time. We'll get a look at Spaceship Earth at night in all its glory.
Dude, I can't hear myself. I have no physical reaction.
And we'll walk underneath. Get a look at it all lit up. At this point, I noticed that the ride, Spaceship Earth, had a 5-minute wait, so I got on. Sorry, I didn't think to record the ride, so it's not going to be part of the video. But I'm going to get on the ride, get off, and capture a bit of one of the light shows that they do with Spaceship Earth. And that'll wrap up the video. Stay tuned, I got some Magic Kingdom stuff coming up. Thank you for watching.